Ronda Rousey received a lot of hate from people in the mixed martial arts (MMA) community and others due to her outspokenness and her highly arrogant attitude. She was criticized for talking trash to her opponents and for her style of self-promotion that many found to be off-putting. Rousey was seen as overly confident and overly cocky, and her ego was said to be excessive. Rousey was often arrogant in public, and her mentality of having an "I will beat you" attitude was considered arrogant by many. Her trash talking was seen as a source of disrespect to her opponents and to the sport in general. Rousey was also criticized for her lack of technical ability and her preference for striking over grappling, which many experts found to be unsophisticated and ineffective. Her post-fight interviews in which she insulted her opponents and declared her victory as inevitable was viewed as unprofessional and classless. Rousey was also seen as having an ego that was out of control, which many felt was detrimental to the sport. People didn't like her for taking unnecessary risks, such as her pre-fight trash talking, which was deemed to be harmful to the sport. Her attitude of having no regard for the rules and regulations of the sport was found to be distasteful and unacceptable. Rousey was often found to be very rude and dismissive in her responses to questions from the media and the public. Furthermore, many found her self-promotion tactics to be too over the top, which made her seem fake and insincere. Her habit of showing off her belt and bragging about her accomplishments made her appear to be selfish and narcissistic. People also found her to be too aggressive in and out of the ring, with her physical confrontations and disrespectful treatment of opponents often criticized. Her controversial out-of-the-ring behavior was also another contributing factor to why people didn't like her. Rousey was seen as overly demanding of her opponents and blatant disrespect for their hard work and dedication. Furthermore, her failure to acknowledge her mistakes and flaws was seen as unappreciative and ungrateful. People also criticized her for making too much money for too little action in the ring, which many felt was undeserved. Her cocky attitude and lack of respect for her peers in the industry rubbed many people the wrong way. Furthermore, her willingness to engage in physical confrontations before and after fights was seen as excessive and inappropriate. Additionally, her often brash and in-your-face attitude made her appear to be unprofessional and immature. Her habit of publicly insulting her opponents was seen as a sign of poor sportsmanship and bad attitude. Rousey was also heavily criticized for her poor record in the last few years, which made people question her ability as a fighter. Her lack of skill was exposed after her loss against Holly Holm, and her poor showing against Amanda Nunes was seen as a sign that Rousey was no longer a good fighter. People didn't like her for refusing to accept defeat and for her failure to accept that her time in the MMA was over.